yet, but this is her recommendation. So
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 9th, 2024 meeting of the Limerick Board of Selectpersons.
I'm not real close with them, but like their daughter's one of
Can
my
we,
best
can we
friends.
keep it down a little? You know, it's interrupting the broadcast. So please join us for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve the August 12th minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay, also look for a motion to approve the August 26th meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, and tonight there are no warrants. We'll have to come in during the week and take care of those. Would someone read the announcements, please?
The Charter Commission will meet on Thursday, September 12th at 6:30 p.m. The Budget Committee will meet on Thursday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Budgets to be reviewed are Planning Board and Board of Appeals. The Select Board will meet on Monday, September 16th at 7 p.m. The Planning Board will meet Wednesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. The Appeals Board has 2 vacant seats to fill. Please reach out to the Select Board admin if interested at 793-4475. As a reminder, if you're speaking at any meeting, please go to the microphone so everyone will be able to hear. And as part of the hearing, a citizen policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public will be tolerated during any meetings. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Selectpersons outside the public meeting. And please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org.
Okay, thank you. Okay, going into department reports, so Stan, the floor is yours.
We have that. I think you're going to sit over there. Stan, I think.
He's got someone else coming up too. Oh.
I know, but Gail's saying over there.
Yeah. Being told.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
You were right. She's over there like.
Yeah.
The last time they said over here, though.
There was a principal.
Yeah. So Stan Hackett, code enforcement, and a few other small minor duties. Year-to-date in permits is $78,158.59. Month-to-date is $3,381.50. I did want everybody to know, in case we haven't said this before, the road inventory and history that Janine Andrews and her husband, who's deceased, got a lot of work on, is currently done and is being last week, we board received a citizen's request and we wanted to discuss that a little bit for road safety. There are a lot of roads in town that are updating the traffic road safety ordinance. And in that ordinance, we're going to reevaluate some of the speed limits to make some of these back roads safer. Stop signs on dangerous intersections such as Angie Road and Route 5, Emery Corner Road, Pickle Pond, and Floyd Road, that's another one of those intersections. We have received word that somebody is going to donate some monies for the solar powered flashing stop signs. So I'm waiting on that and should know in another week or so. But the petition is very much in line with what we're trying to do and accomplish. So once we get the donation, I've already spoken to some of the board members and they will come up with the remaining monies to finish installing those stop signs. An update on the tax required properties, the 40 that property foreclosed on. We are now in the process that everything is just waiting for the deadlines to be finished. That will be commencing the end of September and the beginning of October. We'll be able to put these properties is up for sale. The stipulation with all of these properties, if anybody needs to see them, which happen, is that any proceeds that we receive above and beyond what the tax applied amounts are, or any cost to the town, including tax and title, which is $315, we will be able to recover any remaining monies above that we collect has to go to the former owner, their heirs, or to the unclaimed property. Those are just those 40 properties. We have another 115 properties that we will be putting up on those Casey, who's going to be talking in a minute, get those listed. There's several that are court-loaded. Those we can keep all of any proceeds off in those properties. And then anything that was tax applied, I have to find out how the tax applied was done. And if it was properly foreclosed on prior to this year, we'll be able to keep those monies as well. But anything that wasn't done properly, we have to go through the same process we just did with the 40 that I ever did. And again, the whole goal is we want the people who own the property to maintain and continue to own it. So we have accomplished, like I said a couple weeks ago, 8 of the 40. I was able to, the town was able to help them find financing to afford to keep their properties. The injustice for not handling the foreclosures of the tax applied promptly each year is some of these have gone on for 20 years, and the amount owed becomes so burdensome that it's almost impossible to get financing or borrow money to repay. So I told the board that I would help them, and my department will help them, and anybody on the board will help them, but we're here to help people. And we want to keep the properties. On that, I get long-winded, and we want to go on to 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we listed some properties right after Labor Day. 4 of those properties, all of these properties, the town retains all of the profits on. So the board decided to go with Casey Brady with Remax. We would provide 3 other realtors an opportunity to bid on these, which we will continue to do to make sure that we're getting the appropriate representation. But Casey's done a really good job, and I'd like to turn the floor over to Casey.
My name is Casey Gray from Remax Coastal, and I listed the properties. I just want to thank the board and Stan for giving me the opportunity to represent your town. I have prepared a summary for you of all of the offers, and we'll refer to them by their number, and their number was determined in the order they were received. The first lot is map 39, lot 106 on Dog Road. We received 1 offer this afternoon. The offer is for $40,000. The deposit amount is $500. The subject to section in the inspection section of the offer was left entirely blank. And this was a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, and they would provide proof of funds within 5 days with a closing date of September 30th. The asking price for this lot is currently listed at $100,000. This is a 16-acre lot. I would recommend, before accepting an offer so much lower than the asking price, to reduce the price. The town would also potentially have the opportunity to counter-offer this person if they would like. But my recommendation would be to ask them to to reduce the price, ask them to prepare a new offer with completed terms. Property number 2 is map 39, lot 105, Dog Road. This lot had a tremendous amount of road frontage, also a large acreage. We received 2 offers on this property. The first offer, the price was $125,000. This offer included an escalation clause of $2,000 over the next closest offer up to a price of $208,000. Their deposit offered was $5,000. It is not subject to inspections. This was a cash offer. No proof of funds was provided, and it will be provided within 4 business days. The closing date of 8/2, so October. It should be October. I'm so sorry. So October 2nd. The deed listed in the offer was incorrect, but the buyer is prepared to correct it to the correct deed type, which was a common mistake. I did provide purchase and sale agreement samples to all of the brokers interested. Offer number 2 was $205,000 with a deposit of $5,000, subject to the buyer being able to clear and obtain a title insurance. This was a cash offer with no proof of funds attached, the buyer to provide within 3 days of acceptance, with a closing date of October 8th. They also listed the incorrect deed type. I would recommend accepting offer 1. Their offer would escalate to $207,000, given offer number 2. Number 3 was map 39, lot 96, Long Street. This is a very typical Lake Arrowhead lot. The lot was, didn't have any big problems with it. We reached out to a neighbor who had their name on the list in the code file that they were interested. He chose not to offer. Offer 1 was R&J Homes. They offered a price of $35,000 with a $1,000 concession, so a $34,000 offer. Their deposit was $1,000, and they are subject to an inspection for septic design and setbacks. The offer is a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, and that they would be provided within 3 business days of acceptance. They offered a closing date of September 27th. Offer number 2 was $42,500 with a deposit of $2,000. The buyer, to ensure that it was subject to his inspection, that he could get title insurance within 5 days. He wanted to make sure he could. It was a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, and that they would be provided within 3 days of acceptance. The closing date listed was October 8th, and he had the incorrect deed listed. Offer number 3 was $40,000 with a deposit of $2,500, subject to the buyer ability to obtain title insurance within 10 days. This is a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, and that they would be provided within 2 days of acceptance, with a closing date of October 11th. I would recommend counter offering or going back, and I did confirm with the broker that it was just a mistake, that they would change the deed type to the correct deed type, so I would recommend going with offer number 2. Section number 4 was 12 Range E Road. Offer 1 was for $30,000 with no deposit. This was a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, that it would be provided within 5 days of an acceptance. There was no inspection contingency with a closing date of September 23rd. Offer number 2 was $88,000 with a deposit of $2,000, subject to the buyer ensuring the availability of title insurance, and that the lot is subdividable within 5 business days. This is a cash offer with no proof of funds provided, and that they would be provided within 5 days of an acceptance of contract. The closing date offered was October 8th, and this also had the incorrect deed type listed. Offer number 3 was $47,000, not subject to inspection, cash with no proof of funds, to be provided within 3 business days. Closing date of October 1st. Offer number 4 is $75,000 with a $500 deposit, subject to soils tests within 10 business days and subject to the receipt of a formal letter from code enforcement to ensure the possible subdivision of the lot within 14 business days. This was a cash offer, and later this day, proof of funds were provided with a closing date of October 18th. Offer number 5 was for $95,000. The deposit offered was $2,500. There was a mistake in the purchase and sale agreement where an agency is typically listed. Sometimes that's an attorney's office who holds the earnest money deposit. And in this case, it was filled in with quitclaim deed. I think it was just a typo when he was filling in the form. And so we can, I would recommend making a change there to an agency. And this is subject to the buyer's ability to obtain title insurance. This is a cash offer. No proof of funds are provided, but they can be provided within 2 days of acceptance with a closing date of October 11th. Offer number 6 was for $85,000 with a $2,000 deposit, subject to the buyer obtaining the ability to purchase title insurance before closing, with a closing date offered of September 30th. I would recommend accepting offer 5 with the correction of the section of the agency holding the deposit. That is a summary of all of our properties. Do you have any questions about any of the offers? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Dan?
The mics are not working that well over there, so she asked me to come over here. So you've heard the office, and it is up to the board to make different recommendations or vote in favor of what was recommended. So, depending on your vote, I will give you whatever you would like for copies.
The offers that were recommended by the
So moved.
any further discussion on the board? Okay, all in favor?
Right, so that being in favor, what it amounts to is those 3 properties at the recommended list, the sale price is $344,500. So, and Casey will go back and counteroffer with the lot 106, correct?
Do you want to come out for the lot 106?
Yeah, we,
Yes.
Reduce the price?
Reduce the price and counteroffer, yep.
I have,
we agreed to go with your recommendations, so everything, yeah.
So these are the purchase and sales agreements. You need to initial each page and sign the last one. Then I can get a copy to the file and get the originals to Casey.
Okay, we'll sign those after the meeting.
So one of the other things coming up is there's 2 others that Casey's prepared, which is the Hasty slots. Those, the town received in 1942 after Dr. H.K. Tibbetts passed away and his son had no interest. Edwin Hasty gave the properties to, all of his real estate properties to Dr. H.K. Tibbetts for the exchange of him being taken care of, well-clothed, and then at the appropriate time for a decent burial. So those, I've been working with Casey on. The smaller of the lots, which is Lot 4, is 1.6 acres. It really isn't buildable. The value isn't that much. So that's that. The lot across the street, which is mostly swamp, it's 22 acres. 15 of it is wetland or designated wetland, and some of it may not be buildable. I was going to move forward with that, but I want to ask the board to hold off on that larger lot. I'm still doing some research on that. Plus, that lot, because it's a wetland and there are some other things, we can maybe donate it to one of the animal protection places like Inland Wildlife's. We'll still get revenues on those, but it's really not a buildable lot. I think that's going to be cumbersome. But I gave Casey all of the maps with the green highlighted lots. Those are the title required ones. She's going to work on those so we don't target one street at a time and flood them with for sale signs. But we will start getting those out. So you may be getting a call to come in and initial purchase and sales agreements so we can get those listed. But that is all that I had for tonight. Is there any questions on road safety or properties or history? I'm getting pretty good at the history. That being it, I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you, Stan. Okay, moving on to old business. The first item is to review legal accounts, but with no warrants, we have no record of legal accounts to review. The cemetery mowing and the Veterans Cemetery Committee, there's nothing new to report this week. The town charter update, there's no update, but that will be on the ballot in November. The Brick Town Hall equipment update, connectivity point will be moving the equipment October 29th, 30th, and 31st. And the town-owned property, we just had the discussion on that. Shelter survey, is there any update, Katie?
I don't have any updates. I've got to get back in touch with Ray, and I also am going to work with Alicia this week just to see, between the three of us, getting it finished.
Okay, the Microsoft Exchange email, that's happening in December. The TRIO training update, there's nothing new to report on that. And we need to set the public hearing date for the November vote. So is there...
It has to be by October 7th,
so there's a suggestion for September 30th.
30th.
I make a motion, we set a public hearing for Monday, September 30th at 6 p.m.
Second. So moved.
Okay, yeah, so moved and seconded. Okay, all in favor? Okay, and we have the warrant copies to sign. We'll sign those after the meeting. And under new business,
What are we signing those for? There was a change in wording.
It was in Article 2 for the March vote, should have been 2025, it said 2024.
Do we need to, just to cross our Ts and dot our Is, revote the way that it is?
Sure, I think
So I make a motion that we accept the warrant articles as written currently.
Second.
okay, all in favor? Okay, thanks for that, Katie, and we'll
No
sign that
problem.
afterwards.
I didn't want that to be a problem tomorrow.
Okay, under new business, we've already dealt with the offers for the town-owned properties and the citizen requests, so Next item is to sign the contract with the Animal Welfare Society renewal. So we can sign that after the meeting as well. Do we need to accept that?
I make a motion to accept the
Animal Welfare
Animal
Society.
Welfare Society contract,
Second.
2025.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. And we have a number of listing agreements to sign. There's some new ones here, so. And,
The two that Stan was just talking about.
right, and then,
And he asked us to hold off on one of them, correct?
some of those there.
Yeah, you want us to hold off on lot 5, right?
Yeah, hold
Okay.
off on lot 5.
Take it, they can't sign it.
Do we need a motion to sign this? I make a motion that we sign the listing agreement for map 12, lot 4 on Quarry Road, as written.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? And sign the assessor papers. Okay, that's a letter reducing the property value of lot 32006. And there's a few others. And another one for reducing it on lot 028001-011. One for lot 41-191. And lot 18-007-D. So we'll sign those afterwards also. Gonna use a lot of ink tonight.
I know this is redundant. Do we need a motion to sign the abatements? I make a motion, we sign the 4 abatements as Gil just described.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. And sign the supplemental tax certificates. Okay, that's for lot 23-048-B-004. And it's a tax bill of $424.64. Okay, there are a couple of others. Another one for $429.38. Another for $3,444.23. Another one for $423.06.
Certificates.
And we'll sign those after the meeting.
I make a motion, we sign the supplemental tax certificates.
Second.
All in favor? And the next item is to set an executive session for 36 MRSA deal 841-2.
I was hoping for the 23rd at 6 PM.
Would you make that a motion?
No, I'm just giving you.
Would someone,
I make a motion, we have
I want it to be.
I make a motion, we have an executive session on September 23rd, 2024 at 6 PM.
I will second that.
okay, all in favor?
Because it works for the citizens, so.
Okay, and yes, next item is the hearing of citizens. Do we have any citizens to hear? I know Steve has something. Do you ladies have anything for us? Okay.
I was telling him the same thing, and then he.
Steve McLean. So we're selling those lots that we've advertised.
Yes.
Were they advertised in the paper, the shopping guide, or is it just online with the Realtor?
It's online and on social media.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen some, but just didn't know what we were doing. So what's our update on the other houses that the town owns? What's our progress? On the town-owned house lots that we have that were non-tax paying, are we still?
We're working on all of them.
Now, I don't know if you selectmen know, but SIS had a big changeover, and it's affected everybody. So I don't know how bad it's affected the town, but I figured at least I'd mention it, that most of the businesses were tied up today with not being able to function with the computer system that they set up, so everybody knows that, maybe it's delays and some of the stuff that's going on. Some people can't use their credit cards, and I'm sure the town can't.
Well, I know after speaking with him today, I was able to get in, but I had to change passwords and
We
go through a lot
tried
of.
at my business, a lot of other businesses that I talked to tried, and they couldn't get in, so I think tomorrow may be the day.
You have to use a phone call,
Yeah.
talk to a human.
All right, I got a list here, I'll get over quick, but anyway, the door-to-door rubbish contract, is that going out, or because that's gonna be up here, I think, in December. Last budget season, we talked about putting it out early in the summer, but we haven't seen anything. Is that something you guys have talked about? Because it's gonna be up.
I know we've talked about it, but I don't have an update at this point.
Because, if we're gonna put it out, here we are, September, by the time we put it out, it's October, it expires in 2 months after that. It's kind of hard. We try to put everything out earlier to give people a chance to bid on it. I don't know if that's the same thing. What's the last time we've done an audit for the town books? Did we do one when we had a change of treasurer this year, or we haven't done
We
it?
have the report from RHR, right? That's the audit?
Okay. I just didn't know if we did it when we changed over everything. Was there a report, or was it
You mean
done?
between, okay.
Well, you did one at the end of the year, but that was just a basic one. Was there a full audit, or like they call a forensic audit done?
No, since I went to-
So I just didn't know if that was something that should be done. Here's a good one for staying in the parking up on Main Street. How many of those tickets have we actually collected on? Does anybody know? Are we able to keep track of all the tickets that he writes for parking? Is anybody paying them, or are we just writing tickets?
I don't have an answer.
Okay. All right. Next thing is.
Stan, do you have any?
On the tickets, they have so many days to pay the tickets. If they don't, then I have to go with the SP and run the plates, and then we issue them a summons.
Okay.
So they end up in court.
Eventually, but it might take 6 months or.
No, well, no, it doesn't. It's not going to be, it's not 6 months, it's 15 days when I write the tickets. The ones on the ball field, we changed those from issuing the ticket to a warning. So, but any ones that are on the Main Street, those are being changed into a summons. And
Okay, yeah, because I'm saying, if we're not gonna follow through on it, we shouldn't pay Stan to come up and give out tickets just for, you know what I mean? Now, the gazebo, is the gazebo officially open?
Bandstand?
Bandstand gazebo, yes. The reason I'm saying is I haven't seen really many people using it. It was closed for the winter. We talked about it all winter, closed, blah, 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 but we probably should have more advertised that it's open, you can use it, because there's still 2 cones up there, so most people think I'm not supposed to go up and use it, so we probably ought to get the cones out of there. And if you're gonna close it this winter, whatever, because I don't think they're gonna pave that road or pave that area, because that was the concern for last winter.
It's on the paving. It was approved.
Oh, I know, I was approved, whether they can get to it or not.
I think it's supposed to,
Okay.
But we'll have
Yeah.
to check with
yeah, I
Scott.
can check with Scott.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we ought to get the cones out of there so people know what that is. Another thing here is the manhole covers coming up here on Washington Street, all right? The state DOT manhole covers were the water district, okay? And in past years, Frank Carroll went out and covering them over with some, what they call coal patch, because two of them are very bad. I mean, everybody that drives up there knows you can't avoid them anymore. And they've settled, which everybody knew they would, so maybe I'm gonna ask Scotty or something if he can put some of that coal mix in there for the winter.
Where's it at?
That's on Washington Street?
Well, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the ones coming up here, there's a couple of them that are really bad. The one in the middle, you can't swerve to the right, so you swerve to the right, to the left to miss it, you know what I mean? So we ought to take care of a couple of those. I don't know if anybody's noticed, the red paint on the doors at the fire station are already starting to peel. Okay, and that's a big problem. The biggest part of the problem is the fire station building committee, we had it so they were supposed to be factory red doors. All right, and we all know now that the committee was dissolved because there'd be no changes. And anyway, those doors are painted. So if they're peeling now, come the winter time, they're gonna peel a lot more. And that's a sad thing for $4 or $5, whatever $million we got into the station to have that happen. But if you go up there now, you'll see that. Another thing, you guys had a workshop, a budget workshop last week, and being a longtime member of the budget committee should have been there too. Anything to do with money, financial money in the town was always the budget committee being involved, even though it was a workshop. I think it would have been a good thing to have them there as a whole.
Well, I think that's what later in the year, we meet with the budget committee to go over them,
Okay.
and that's when we can
To
have,
collaborate as a board to put our
And I
papers
understand,
together.
but our ordinance says, was written out, you know, real estate's anything to do with the money and stuff should involve. And it's good to have, we've done it before, we always did it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's just kind of a missed opportunity to have some more,
We are still meeting with them on that same,
you still will, but I'm
So,
saying
yeah.
at that time, it would have been nice to have everybody there. You know, we tried to do that joint stuff. Now, if you guys get a chance this week, down at the dam area, the first part of the dam, okay, in front of the mill building, you guys ought to take a look at it, because we're down there for the ski show, and it's all filled with brush and everything else. It's horrible. All right, and when they lower the lake this year, we ought to get in there and clean it out. The other factor is, about 10 years ago, we had one of the guys on the fire department that was a scuba diver, and he went down and cleaned it all out. Because that pump that Bob Harrisburg has there draws water from there. And I'll just tell you right now, she probably won't pump as much water as it could. All right, I know Brady, I won't put you on the spot, Brady was there, I showed him how. It's just horrible, but when it gets down, that ought to be cleaned up, because that pump down there will be very ineffective, because it's all plugged up. The center section of that is what feeds that pump that they have there for the mill building, so that's something there. And the other, let's see, what's the other one? The last one was, what, do we have a reserve balance that we're supposed to keep by state law? Do we still have that? I know money's tight, I understand that, but have we been able to maintain that reserve that we're required to have for a reserve? Or is that a treasurer question?
well, and I haven't looked at it with the treasurer at all, so I don't know. I couldn't answer it.
Okay. All right. And lastly, on that ladder truck that I donated to anybody, I never heard anything from anybody, so I don't know if you guys did.
I'm not familiar with that, so.
Okay. All right, now you guys can adjourn.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
I'm gonna need your notes.
Okay, no other hearing of citizens' issues? So I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
You can, good.
Thank you, everyone.